Hi, my name's Bo. I've been teaching music for over 20 years and I'm a coach here at pianopracticecoach.ca. Today, I'd like to talk to you about the RCM books. There's 4 books for each level of RCM. You might be wondering if you need to get them all, what the uses are for each of them. So we'll unpack that today. We'll go through each of them to see what their value is. And just to let you know, also in this video, we're not talking at all about the theory books. We're going to save that for a separate discussion. But first, I want to talk about the syllabus. The syllabus is like the roadmap for your exam. It's the most important thing, and you really need to consult the syllabus when you're preparing for an exam. Not consulting the syllabus is like Matthew McConaughey, like not reading over a script before he signs on to do the movie. You need to know what's expected of you. And even though it's something that mostly is just a teacher's thing, students really need to have access to that syllabus so that they can see which parts of the exam count for the most marks, how they can strategize in preparing for it, and so forth. Fortunately, the syllabus is free of charge. It's accessible on the RCM website, and I'll provide a link for it in the description. So next up, it's the repertoire book. The repertoire usually accounts for about 60% of your total mark. The repertoire is the meat of the exam, so you might think that that's the first thing you need to do is go out and get the repertoire book. But before you do that, take out your syllabus and notice all the pieces that are qualifying pieces for the examination of the level you're undertaking. And you're going to notice that the majority of them are not even contained in the book. So what I recommend to my students is listen through all of those pieces. Find your favorites. Find the ones that you feel like you could really connect to and give good expression to in your music. Those are the ones that you're going to want to prepare for the exam. And it could be that those aren't included in the book. So you may wish to not get that book. If you find, though, that you just want a book simply to isolate those pieces and know for sure that you're using the correct version, then please get the book. But it's definitely not a must. Now we're going to take an entirely different approach for the Etudes portion. The Etudes book contains a variety of different pieces that have technical challenges associated with them. And we don't want to have any weak spots in our abilities at the piano. So with the Etudes, it's a great idea to just start in on the very first one and play them all if you can. Then once you've played them all, you can select a couple that are appropriate for your examination. But that's a great book to have. Please go out and get the Etudes book. Third book we're going to look at is our technical requirements. The technical requirements book, you don't necessarily need to go out and get it. I never did as a student when I was going through my exams. I just remembered which scales, triads, arpeggios, and so forth were required for that particular level. And I made it a point to always be able to remember the key signature for every key on the piano. Now, you don't have to do it that way. And if you're not a very conceptual thinker, you should just go out and get the technical requirements book. It makes it so easy. You just play through each and every scale, each and every triad, arpeggio, and so forth. And it just makes it way easier to prepare for the exam. Also, you'll know right away which ones you're doing well at and which ones require more work. So it is a good book to have. And lastly, we're going to consider the sight reading and ear tests book. Wow, is this ever a great book? This is a book that a lot of people shy away from. They shy away from it because it doesn't count as much towards the final mark. These things are categorized under the musicianship heading. They don't count as much for the final mark, but they're so foundational. Like, if you do well at your musicianship exercises, that contributes so much to your abilities as a musician, and it has cumulative effects over the years. If you fall behind in musicianship, it could be that you're able to catch up in the other areas, but then it's always a problem going forward. So please get that book. And this is kind of another subject, but a lot of people feel that their abilities with their ear in music aren't very good and there's nothing they can do about it. I just don't have it, which isn't true. You can get better. Even if it's a weakness, with practice and with patience, you can improve your ear and it will have so many good trickle-down effects for the rest of your discipline. So please get the sight reading and ear training book. It'll do wonders for your ability at the exam. And if it's a weakness of yours, please work on it right now. It's going to have so many benefits in the future.